Hello, geometry students. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about defining and naming angles. Before I do, I want to pause for a quick summary. So far, we've learned about points. A point has no length, no width, no height. It just specifies an exact location, but it's zero-dimensional. We name it with one capital letter. A line is a straight, one-dimensional figure that has no thickness. It just has a length that extends infinitely in both directions. And we can name it either with a lowercase script label, or we can name it using any 2 points on the line, in which case they have to be capital letters because they represent points on the line, and you have to have the double-headed arrow above it to represent that it's a line. A ray is a part of a line that has a definite starting point, but no end point. It goes to infinity in one direction. And when you name a ray, you have to start with the capital letter for the end point, and then you can use any other point, capital letter, for any other point it passes on its way to infinity. And then you put the ray symbol above it with just one arrowhead. A line segment is part of a line that's bounded by 2 distinct endpoints. It contains every point in between those endpoints. When we name it with the 2 capital letters that are the endpoints. And we have to use a line segment symbol above. Now today we're going to learn about an angle. And an angle is a figure formed by 2 rays that have a common endpoint. The 2 rays that make up the angle are called the sides of the angle, and the common endpoint that the 2 rays share is called the vertex of the angle. It's important to differentiate the sides are rays and the vertex is a point, because that will help you as you try to name these body parts of an angle. So if the sides are rays, we remember that you have to name a ray starting with the endpoint and then any point on its way to infinity. So pause and see if you can name the 2 sides of this angle. And then press play. So the rays are BA and BC with the ray symbols above. What about the vertex? The vertex is point B. Now, how do you name an angle? There are 3 ways you could name an angle as long as the angle is all alone in space. One way to name an angle is just to slap a number in there. And then you could say, hey, that's angle 1. And that's sometimes a really convenient way to do it if you have a very complex diagram, like we'll be encountering throughout the course. Another way to name an angle is with 3 letters. They will be capital letters because each of them represents a point. And when you use 3 letters to name an angle, the first letter has to be a point on the ray on its way in, the vertex point has to be in the middle, and then the third point has to be a point on the ray going out. Now you have options. You could either name this angle ABC, or you could name it angle CBA, but either way, notice the vertex is always in the middle. And notice that you use the same angle symbol in each case. Now, the third way to name an angle is only true if that's the only angle as far as the eye can see. In this case, the diagram's not complicated. It's the only angle drawn there. And in that case, you could just say, that's angle B. So pause the video and name angle 1 in a couple other ways. Angle 1 could either be named angle JMK or angle KMJ. Let's name angle 2 in a couple other ways. Pause, do it on your own paper, and then press play. So for this angle, angle 2, you could either name it KML or angle LMK. So pause, and on your own paper, name this angle in 4 possible ways. You could use the number, angle 4. You could use 3 letters. You could either do angle QRS or angle SRQ, as long as R is in the middle. Or because in this case it's the only angle as far as the eye can see, you could just name it angle R. Notice the sides are rays RS and ray RQ, and the vertex is point R. Now, have your own paper and pencil ready. Is there any angle in this diagram that could be named by using just one letter? The answer is no, because all of the angles in this diagram all have vertex O. And so you could never just name it, hey, angle O, because I wouldn't know if you're talking about this angle or any of them. So the answer is no. You can only use one letter if it's the only angle around. So now pause, and on your own paper, pause the video and jot down the names of the rays that form angle EOB. The first thing I would recommend doing is highlighting angle EOB. Goes from E to vertex O out through B. And if you highlight it, it really helps the angle pop off the page. And then you see that the two sides are rays OB and OE. And try the same now for COD. Name the rays that form angle COD. Pause the video, jot it down on your own paper, and then press play. I would start by highlighting that angle. Angle COD goes through C on its way to vertex O and then out through D. And if you highlight it with your pencil or a highlighter, you'll see that the sides to the angle are ray OC and ray OD. And that is all for naming angles. And I'll leave you with this cute kitten and wish you a wonderful day.